Just not to be late! No, you've eaten too many pies.
Oh, you're just not as strong as you used to be, all right?
There we go, mate.
Thomas David.
Court number 2, second case. Duties will be round in a minute. Take a seat.
Waiting outside a block of flats after midnight with a knife in his pocket. Don't take a genius to work that one out.
So, what? You reckon he was after someone, or?
Guys. Look closely. We need buckets and mops. Someone was a slippery when we're inside, isn't it? Yo, Ginge. Over here. Get those stains out there?
You're spilling more than you were drinking, darling.
A bit of discretion wouldn't go amiss. That's it, there. He's always stopping me for no reason.
Don't say that in court. They'll only wonder why. He can't refer to your previous, so don't you draw attention to it, okay?
Their own personal brief. It's like the mafia, innit?
You don't dictate with whom you sit. Mr. Thomas?
Morning. Everything okay?
Not really. Winford Thomas just called me on his mobile. He's cleared off. Apparently you and he had an understanding he was not to be sat with Margaret Mathias.
Seemed better.
To what? Let some farmer tell us how to do our job.
Yeah, sorry. How's things at home?
Yes, Hugh. That's why I'm cross. My home life. Why not throw in time of the month while you're at it?
I pulled over to make some calls because it's dangerous when driving.
Try not to smoke.
I didn't.
Right. Your hobby is fishing. That night you're wearing your fishing jacket.
The tall one at the back you want to watch out for. Total head case.
Runs in the family, then.
And hospital appointments. 3 Fridays in a row. So there should be records. The bench does tend to come down hard on people who don't do their community service. Mr. Singh, can you see to me? It's just... He doesn't understand.
Sorry, he's with me.
What are you up for, Tommy?
Breach of his community punishment order.
Yeah, I can't explain. He don't know my circumstances like you do. Can we have a word?
But I...
Back in a sec.
Swell. Quick query.
What?
I just want to make sure that you can't find me late again.
Let me in, Des. I need to speak to Peter. Des. Des.
I know Tommy's history, so if you wouldn't mind swapping, taking Miss Jeffrey's case. It's straightforward, but she might object. She's a bit... neurotic.
Okay, just fill me in. How neurotic?
Well, we thought it'd be nice, just spot of supper, nothing formal.
Yes, sorry, I think we're busy this weekend.
Surprise, surprise. Morning. it'll just be you and Mrs. Matthias, Peter. Is that all right?
Oh, yes.
Yes, that's fine.
Great. And we're about to start.
Morning, Peter.
Oh, good morning.
Okay. I shall take you through. Miss Jeffries, as Mr. Singh has been waylaid, he's asked me to handle your case.
Oh, no, it's all right. I'll wait.
Thing is, your case is up next, and Mr. Singh may be some time.
But I've built up a relationship with Ranjit. I've a right to have who I want.
You don't, actually. Sorry. The good news is that the company records have come through, so it should be fairly... Miss Jeffries?
Can I ask you something?
Of course.
Is there a rule or something that says you can't get involved with a client? You know, like doctors and patients? You are Scott Pearson of 6 St Andrew's Place, Pembridge, date of birth 4th of the 10th, 61?
Yes.
Sir, to the charge of being in possession of an offensive weapon without lawful authority or reasonable excuse, you have pleaded not guilty. Is that your intention again?
Yeah.
You may sit, Mr. Pearson. Miss Meadows?
On the 6th of November of this year, just after midnight, P.C. Oliver and a fellow constable came across the defendant sitting in his parked van outside Lincoln Street Flats, where a known drug dealer resides. On questioning the defendant, the police became suspicious and had reason to believe he may have been in possession of drugs. They therefore conducted a search and found a Stanley knife in the inside pocket of his coat.
No one knows you informed.
Yes, they do. Some guy has turned up on the scheme. They guessed, worked it out.
You sure?
Yeah, how come you walk, Tommy, and the supplier went down? No, what happens to grasses, Tommy?
They won't do anything. They're on probation.
Accident, they said, maybe next week or next month. We're alone up there with spades and posts. You should have let me do the time.
You struck the deal with the police because you didn't want to go inside, and I obeyed your instructions. Don't pin this on me.
They work on Fridays. It's the only day I leave the house. I buy in cans of food for the week. I've got 4 locks on both doors. I just sit in the dark and wait.
Miss Jeffries. Miss Jeffries, if you could stand, please, then the charge can be put to you again.
To the charge of driving over and above 30 miles per hour, how do you plead?
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
We now have conclusive evidence from the company records to confirm that my client was not driving the said vehicle on the day in question.
I intend to offer no evidence, and the Crown will carry out investigations as to the identity of the real culprit.
Your plea's been accepted and the charge is dismissed.
Court rise.
Told you. Simple. You're free to go.
So, what will you press for? He's terrified they'll revoke the order and sentence him again. Thing is, I can't tell the bench the real reason, can I? You know, deals with the police are not meant to happen. Jax.
All right. Fine as a warning, then.
Sorted?
Yes, that's me done for the day.
But you'll say you swap now.
I wonder, could I speak with you?
Sure.
Excuse us, a bit delicate. Might be nothing in it, but your speeding client, she said something a bit odd.
I'm not saying Val isn't a good magistrate, but it's taken me 3 long years to build up a relationship with the Magistrates' Courts Committee. They decide which court is to close.
Well, they won't close here, surely.
Can't guarantee that if I lose the chair.
Doubt you will. If it ain't broke, it's my motto.
Glad to hear it.
He wasn't on the phone when we approached him.
But there was a phone in the car. In his lap, to be precise.
Tell me, was it particularly quiet that night, or do you conduct a search on every person you happen to find parked in a stationary vehicle?
No, we don't, but
Then why search my client?
I thought he may have drugs on him.
Why?
He was parked outside a dealer's flat.
It's hardly a crime. Was he vague, incoherent?
No, but
But what?
there was something about him.
It's harassment, that's what it is.
Don't interrupt, please, sir.
It's a good job we did search him. He was carrying a specified offensive weapon.
Offensive to fish, I don't doubt.
Nice one, Ginge.
Yeah, to me, nothing more than a tool used for the leisurely pastime of fishing. Might I request a short break, Your Worships? Needs Master Nolan.
5 minutes then, Mr. Davis. Stand.
I'm doing this to get him off, not to entertain you. He's a wronged man, and as his cousin, you should not be finding that funny.
All right, mate.
Nice to see a man sweat for his pay.
Yeah, couldn't be worse.
Tell me.
All clear?
I heard. Great.
Thought I might treat you to lunch later to celebrate.
I'll be working through. Glad it worked out.
Me and my shadow.
What?
Woman over there. Can't leave Range alone.
Jammy kid. Only stalkers I get are recovered alcoholics. What?
It's my hobby. It relaxes me when I'm not on a building job.
Can't argue with that.
And that night I was wearing my fishing jacket and I keep the knife in the pocket, see?
And where better to keep the knife you used to gut fish?
But to be honest, I forgot it was there. Till they found it. If I'd known the trouble it'd
But you didn't. Because you had nothing to hide or prove. Thank you, Mr. Pearson. Nothing further.
You say you fish in Penter Pond, so I take it you have a license.
Objection, that's not why my client is before you today.
He's right, Mr. Meadows.
Had you been fishing on the night in question? There was no fishing tackle to be found in your van.
No, I hadn't.
So why were you wearing what you so particularly described as your fishing jacket?
It was cold. That jacket's the warmest I got.
Your Worships, we're all aware, I'm sure, of the damage a Stanley knife can
I
cause.
thank my colleague not to point out facts of which we're all aware. His statement has unfair implications.
What are you getting at, Mr. Meadows?
The defendant was sitting outside a known drug dealer's flat after midnight.
There's nothing to connect my client to this dealer.
He had a lethal weapon in his pocket. If it's used for fishing, then why does he keep it separate?
Sorry, we've already established why.
Davis! You will have your chance to counter Mr. Meadows' points in your summing up. I would thank you to calm down and let him continue.
Thank you, Your Worships.
Is this marriage breakup? Cat's been a right cow.
I'll say I notice a difference.
It's not me who did the dirty on her, is it? Anna reckons I should have it out with her, but... Anyway, how's the love of your life?
Sorry?
The gym.
Oh. Well, at least it's always there for me.
So, here we have a man complying with police regulations by pulling over to make a few phone calls, only to find himself searched and persecuted because there was something about him. Something fishy. What? His demeanor? His class? My client has committed no crime other than to have a hobby. I, as a self-employed workaholic, sadly have no time for hobbies, but I'm sure your worships will appreciate that most people, including your good selves, do. Imagine, therefore, being harassed because someone didn't like the look of your face, and being hauled into the judicial system because you had, say, a lone golf club in the boot of your car. I urge you, therefore, to realize that this man has had enough heartache already with no justifiable cause.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. We will retire to discuss the verdict over lunch.
Stand.
The incorrigible Desmond Davis.
How does he get away with it?
By being just this side of charming as he does it. You've got to hand it to him. You know, if it wasn't for Pearson's history, I'd be inclined to believe he was innocent.
You can't take that into account, though. Got to retain objectivity, remember?
Yeah, easier said than done in a small town like this.
Miss Jackson, on behalf of the probation service, could you please outline this case?
Your Worships, Mr. Thomas David pleaded guilty in the Crown Court 2 months ago to the charge of possession of a Class A drug, namely crack cocaine. He was ordered to attend drugs counselling and issued with 240 hours of a community punishment order, which involved installing posts in the hills outside Pembridge. He has breached the order on 3 separate occasions by failing to attend without good excuse, hence the summons to this court today.
Thank you, Miss Jackson.
Mr. Singh.
My client is a man in a vulnerable state. He has struggled over the past few months to overcome his drug addiction, and in doing so, has seen fit to try and steer clear from people connected to his past. Yet, on attending the job assigned to him as part of the community punishment order, he found himself in the company of... my client found himself in the company of some of the people he was anxious to break away from. Rather than discuss his problem with the probation service, my client foolishly neglected to show up. I know the court has the power to return him to the Crown Court to be sentenced again, but if his terms of service could be renegotiated here instead, he's assured me that he'll comply with the new terms.
Does the probation service have a view on this matter?
We're quite happy for the client to be fined. As a reminder not to fail to attend in future, the terms of the order can easily be renegotiated.
Thank you, Miss Jackson. Court will reconvene after lunch to hear our decision.
Court rise.
Ranjit, lunch on me. Problem?
Client, case is over, but she won't go away.
Got too attached.
It's becoming a bit of a nightmare.
Miss Jeffries. Not lunching?
On a diet, as ever.
You should try mine. The divorce diet. Works a treat.
I did hear. How are you coping?
Admirably. Impressing myself. I thought I'd be like you, married forever.
He's never there. His life is one long business trip.
Oh, thanks. Well, you may not have too much time on your hands before long, if you win the chair. Quite brave, taking on Peter the Great.
I think I may have lost a friend in the process.
I think you'd be a welcome change. Just a shame the clerk doesn't get to vote.
Can I come in? I just wanted to say, Miss Tyrrell, how glad I am to see you back. Between me and you, I think Mr. Evans has a little too much to prove.
Is this an official complaint?
No, not as such.
Because Mr. Evans happens to be one of the finest clerks in the area. And as a relatively new magistrate, I'd think twice before you start running him down. Excuse me.
I'm not sure I deserved that.
Missing you.
How's the hangover?
It's business, Gerald. It's what I do in the week.
Any asking? So, is that the best way to do business?
I blew my advance payment from the Legal Services Commission. Couldn't fill my work quota. Now I owe them money. Well, Lola left yesterday. It's okay. Just got to keep on top of things, any which way.
Ginge, fancy a pint?
No, I better not.
Let me stop you.
In the pipers, yeah?
Isn't it part of your bail conditions to keep out of licensed premises?
Oh, it's okay. I'll stand just outside.
Scum.
It's okay. I'm not stalking you.
Fit though, isn't she? And Ellen. You reckon Ryan's worked her?
Oh, I don't know. New baby, postnatal wife. Been there more times than I care to remember.
That Helen woman, she wanted to see you. When I told her she couldn't, she started making a bit of a scene. So I put her in interview room 1. I could get Gaz to escort her out.
No. I'll see to it. Miss Jeffries.
I've got a first name.
Sit down, please.
If you didn't want my friendship, you only had to say. Not make a fool of me and pass me on. And get some woman to warn me to stay away from you.
Please, sit. Helen.
If you don't like cheese and tomato, you only had to...
I didn't tell Jax to warn you. I merely shared my concerns that you couldn't let go. It happens.
All I did was bring you some lunch. Not a great judge of character, am I? I thought the people at work were my friends. No. And then I meet you and get that wrong.
I'm married.
Did I propose?
No. But people talk, and I have a reputation to think of. I appreciate that this has been a stressful time for you.
I know you do. If it wasn't for your reputation and your marriage...
You must let this go. For my sake, please. I'm... boring, really.
I think I know how it must be for you.
I have to get back.
So get lost, Helen. Don't hate me. I don't want to cause you any trouble. I only want what's best for you.
That's nice to know.
Friends, then?
Of course. So I have to go this way.
Right. Do you want...
I've eaten.
So, I'm only saying goodbye.
Stand up, please, Mr. Pearson. After much deliberation, this court finds you not guilty of the charge of carrying an offensive weapon.
Court stand.
Oi, Des.
Just to say thanks, like.
One more of those and you're dead.
First round's on me, mate. I feel a knock-in coming up.
Well done, Ginge. We'll get him in. How long are you going to be?
About an hour. Still here.
You need to get alive. See your girlfriend tonight, then?
You what?
Oh, come on. With some kiss.
I will look twice, all right?
What?
You dirty dog. I got to work in those interview rooms, you know.
You okay? You look worn out.
Stop. That lady may be slightly delusional, but I would never take advantage of that. I have a wife and kids. Don't judge me by your own low standards, okay?
What's that about? You mean you don't know?
Stand up, Mr. David. The court's not satisfied with your reasons for failing to fulfill your community punishment order. As we can't be seen to condone such non-compliance, your order will be revoked.
It's not her.
You'll return to the Crown Court to be resentenced at a later date. Be granted bail until your next hearing.
Court rise.
Tommy, they put me away, Mr. Singh, and they find out about me inside. What will they do to me?
Well, I think it's sweet.
What?
You and Cheryl. Don't deny it. Bit naive for you, isn't she?
She's sharp as a die. She's also very private, and as it's early days, I'd appreciate it if you kept it to yourself.
Sure. But does she know what she's getting herself into? You're not exactly Mr. Commitment.
No point in committing to the wrong girl, is there?
So, is she the one?
I'd like a word. Ranj, I had no idea that you were having problems or anything. I mean, I genuinely thought that you looked tired. That's why I...
Sorry, then. It just seemed like one day too many.
Ranj, you ready?
Yeah.
I cancelled the Piper's Arms crowd tonight.
So, none of my business? When was the last time you had a decent meal?
Well, that's rich coming from you.
Come over. I'll get your favourite takeaway. And then you can go home for some sleep. Come as soon as you want.
Have I been a prize bitch today?
I'd give you the rosette.
Hugh, I'm so sorry. It's...
Yeah, I know.
You up to anything tonight?
No, why? Fancy a quick bevy?
I can't. Griff's going out, but... Nothing.
Go on. What?
Well, we could take a bottle of wine home to mine. Griff's with Gwen until 10, and there's always that moment when her car pulls up and there's this silence as though I could do with some company.
Let's go out one night, yeah? I just don't want to get involved as such.
Yeah, you're right. On fair request.
He's a big bloke. I've seen him.
And it might confuse the kids. Disturb them, even. What's Mummy doing with the troll?
And you see me into the house.
Could make money out of this. Connie Jackson, female bodyguard. Hey, over there in the trees.
Sorry, couldn't resist.
Oh, Ranj, I'm sorry. Should we have some music?